Welcome, this is the program What Kind of Gear on the Army TV channel, where we talk about the equipment and weapons used by servicemen from various units of the defense forces of Ukraine. Today, we're specifically going to talk about pistols. Which models, what kind of tuning, even what holsters are used by assault troops, reconnaissance units, and fighters of the International Legion of the Main Intelligence Directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine. In short, those who fight on the ground. But at the same time, we'll also look at what sidearms are carried by those who fight in the air and even underwater. And we'll start with the pistol of an assault trooper. I see you've got a pistol as well.
Yeah, of course. In this case, it's my personal issued sidearm. A PM-type pistol. The most standard one, everyone knows it. No point going into detail. The only thing I changed on it, again for convenience, is the grip from Fab Defense. It's very comfortable, and it allows you to release the magazine using an upper button instead of the lower one, like on standard grips. So you press here, and the magazine drops out. Same thing when inserting. Put it in, and you're good to go, working with it smoothly. The holster itself is universal. You can fit all types of pistols into it, with attachments or without. It adjusts to any sidearm. It also has a built-in pouch for a spare magazine. I bought it a long time ago, even before the full-scale invasion. I knew I'd need it. The brand is Akinak, also Ukrainian made.
And a reconnaissance soldier from the Storm Airborne Troops, call sign Bet, showed us what might be the largest amount of weaponry in the entire history of the program, What Kind of Gear. That was 5 different firearms at once, assault rifles, carbines, rifles, that he uses in combat. But he had only one pistol. Which one? Let's take a look.
Holster from the Ukrainian manufacturer, ATA Gear. The pistol is a Fort 14 TP. Ukrainian made. Why? Silent shot. It also comes with a sound moderator. A decent pistol, I like it, but it's a dying caliber. 9x18. Unfortunately, ammunition is already scarce. A real shortage.
1 magazine in it.
And 2 on my load-bearing system. 2 pistol pouches.
And thanks to the combat divers of the Special Operations Forces, we learned that pistols are used even underwater. What kind of pistols are these? The ones that aren't afraid of salt water, don't fear pressure? My brother-in-arms, Captain Artem Holub, asked about that.
The first thing I'll start with is probably the short one. This is a Glock 19. With a red dot sight, because it's more convenient to aim in low light conditions. And it handles moisture just as well as the optic mounted on it. My magazine capacity here is 17 rounds, because that's what works best for me. I feel more confident when I've got more ammunition in the mag.
By this point in the program, there's probably already some critic who feels obligated to write in the comments. Why even carry pistols at all? They're useless in modern warfare. Who even takes them on combat missions? But John, a legionnaire of the International Legion of the Main Intelligence Directorate of the Ministry of Defense of Ukraine, has a slightly different opinion. Because for him, the pistol served as a weapon of last resort and very well could have saved his life. More about this pistol and that story, coming up next. Besides your Daniel defense, I see you also have a holster with a pistol in your kit. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, this is a Sig Sauer P320. First thing, let's make sure it's clear. It's a 9mm pistol, usually issued to fighters in our unit. Not everyone gets one though, because they're not always available. But it's the most common pistol we use.
As for modifications or upgrades, It's stock. Just as it was issued to you, you didn't change anything. I only see you've marked it.
The marking is just my code name, my call sign, JW, like John Wick. It's just so nobody mixes up the weapons when they're issued. The serial numbers are really small. Not everyone reads them. And you don't want situations like, oh, I think this is mine. I remember this scratch on the slide. Or, there was a similar chip there. But those marks can look identical. So yeah, this is my pistol, and better not touch it.
You said you've used this weapon in combat, you've used a machine gun. Have you ever had to use a pistol in a fight? And do you even take it on missions now? Well, I see you do, but is it actually practical?
I always saw the pistol as a last chance. Like if absolutely nothing from your primary weapons is left, at least you've got something on you. And yeah, I actually ended up in that exact situation. It was the day I got wounded. I even have footage from that day.
Arrow, get out!
Let's go, let's go, let's go!
Let's go! Hey!
I was moving with a shotgun then. The decision was made at the last second. I had both a shotgun and a rifle, but the rifle was strapped to my backpack.
Ah! Fuck! God! Damn it! I'm hit! Ah! Shit! Fuck! My knee!
It's fine!
Ah! Son of a...
It's obvious that at the longest distances in this war, it's snipers who do the work with small arms. So if a sniper ends up having to use his pistol, things have gone seriously bad. And you have to be 100% confident in that sidearm. What kind of pistol did a Special Operations Forces sniper with the call sign Kraken choose for himself? Let's take a look.
I saw you've got a Sig Sauer here.
The Sig Sauer P320 is a civilian model without a manual safety. The barrel is considered more of a competition-grade, high-precision one. So in fact, I've even used it in competitions.
I've seen, some guys mount their holster on the chest or somewhere else. Why did you put yours here?
Because sometimes even this setup gets in my way, and I'll unclip it. Sometimes I have to crawl. From here, it can easily get knocked loose or packed with dirt. And yeah, after that, it might not fire anymore.
Have you ever had to use your pistol?
In combat? No. But as a personal defense weapon, I believe you should always have one.
At the same time, for some units, the pistol is almost their primary weapon, considering the nature of their missions. So now, using the example of a fighter with the call sign Kamil, we can look at what pistol specialists from the Ukrainian National Police's CORD Rapid Response Unit choose for themselves.
We're issued the Glock 17. In my opinion, it's a very reliable weapon. It doesn't let you down. It's comfortable ergonomically. We've got 17 rounds in the standard magazine.
I see you've got a flashlight too.
Yeah, there's a flashlight. You can use it as a regular light or with a laser aiming module, or separately. It's a very useful thing when you're working from behind cover. When you're working with a ballistic shield, only your hand sticks out from behind it. You can hit your target just by manipulating the weapon. Let me show you how it looks. This is standard flashlight mode. This is with the laser, and this is just the laser. If you need to light something up, you switch it on or just use the light. We generally don't use red dot sights. It's all cool, but in real work, these things often fail, so we stick with standard iron sights. The only thing that really matters is that the flashlight works.
Without a doubt, the Glock 17 is an incredibly practical, functional, and even aesthetically pleasing weapon. By the way, the Chief Sergeant of the UAV Battalion of the 3rd Separate Assault Brigade, call sign Abdullah, fully agrees. He also carries a Glock 17.
Standard issue personal weapon. A fine pistol like this. I wrapped the grip so I wouldn't have to repaint it. Again, someday I'll have to turn it in. I'd say I'll do it with some sadness, because the Glock 17 is a great piece, and it's nice to have it on your belt, but also with relief. Everything has to end someday. By the way, the holster is a quick release type. You press here with your finger and draw it.
Mounted on the left side?
Yeah, I'm left-handed by the way, so it's on the left, just so nobody thinks anything's fake here. Otherwise, you're not getting it out at all. On my belt, I carry 2 magazines. If you take a weapon with you, you need to have feed for it. You need ammunition. That's both tradition and good practice for any soldier. The mag pouches, by the way, are really solid. Everything fits in snug, held tight, and still comes out pretty easily.
We've already told you about the pistols used by specialists from different units, on land and even underwater. And to wrap up today's episode, we simply can't not show you the pistol a fighter pilot takes with him on combat sorties.
This is a personal weapon. Some use standard issue weapons, but I personally fly with an award pistol. It's a Beretta.
9mm?
Yeah, 9x19mm Parabellum.
How many rounds do you take with you? I see 1 magazine, right?
No, not just one. 1 magazine here, and another one here.
What do you use the pistol for? They say it's hard to fight a direct engagement with a pistol.
Of course, if I eject, even over enemy territory. It wouldn't be smart to engage an enemy armed with automatic weapons, assault rifles, carbines, machine guns, while I've only got a pistol. I'm not going to fight that kind of battle, but anything can happen, and just in case, you need a weapon.
And on that note, we're wrapping up today's episode.